Flexible pipe is now installed in the Westbank of Jefferson Parish to combat the saltwater wedge. The Army Corps gave the parish approval today.
Chris Welty is live along the river in Marrero.
Meg Lee, today the Jefferson Parish contractors began installing the first 3 miles of flexible pipeline. In all, they'll install 15 miles of flexible pipeline here on the West Bank of Jefferson Parish. The plan is to continuously pump fresh water from the Mississippi River at Kenner to the Marrero intake. The flexible pipeline arrived on spools. A Bobcat was then used to unravel the pipeline along the side of the levee. The saltwater wedge is expected to reach the Marrero intake by October 24th. While this is not a permanent solution in Jefferson Parish, leaders are pleased to see progress being made. Jefferson Parish President Cynthia Lee Shank says time is of the essence.
Found the right contractor to do it. They could mobilize very, very quickly. And everybody's been so cooperative on getting us the approvals. We're working in coordination with the New Orleans Sewage and Water Board for when they start laying their pipeline on the East Bank. We have to coordinate, very closely with them for us to do our project next to theirs on the East Bank. So really everybody has been working so hard.
Meanwhile, in New Orleans, Mayor Cantrell says the city is working with all levels of government on a permanent solution, and she maintains that the water is and will continue to be safe to drink. New Orleans is hoping their pipeline will be a permanent solution. Cantrell says the city is looking at contingencies, but she did not give specifics. She maintains New Orleans is on track, despite some voicing concerns that Orleans is not moving fast enough.
The Sewage and Water Board has moved forward with procurement in regards to contractors to do and work with. That's happening. But always wanting to make sure that we get the best outcome possible, because it's not a matter of if, it's when.
Both leaders want residents to know that the water is constantly being tested and it remains safe to drink. Reporting live in Marrero, Chris Welty, Fox 8 Local First.